Hello everyone, welcome back to Humble Acres. So I wanted to do a small little project on the Falcon here. I have been having troubles with the hood closing. So when the hood goes down, it goes down fine, but then at the last second, the hood just kind of falls and it goes way deep down in there. And I don't really know why that's happening. So you can see as it drops, it's nice, it's good, everything's fine, but then it just sinks down and it's like a ½ inch underneath the surface for some reason. I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. I've messed with the hinge quite a bit to adjust it, but I just think there's something wrong with it. The other side for some reason is fine. I was also thinking there's supposed to be a gasket that goes along the cowl here. And I'm thinking that gasket's gone, it like rotted, but I'm thinking maybe the hood was supposed to like rest on that, but I don't know. I don't have that gasket. So my plan is to make a little rest, kind of like the front has here. It has this little rest where the hood kind of just sits on. I'm gonna make one of those for the back here that just kind of you take this bolt out, you put it in, and then you put the bolt back. That's my plan. We're gonna design something, go model it in Fusion 360, and then we're gonna print it on the 3D printer. So I actually have all my measurements already here, but all you need is a pair of calipers. I have a cheap, like these are Pittsburgh, I think that's a Harbor Freight brand, I think. Honestly, I don't really remember. But anyway, you just kind of have to measure. So we need to measure from the surface, or actually from the bottom of the hood here down to the surface where it's going to sit. So you can use this end for that. And it comes out to 23, I believe, is what I figured out. Yeah, so it was about 23 here. So I just went through and measured everything. I measured the width here. I measured, you can see right here how it comes in and then it dips down quick. So I want it to rest on this surface right here. So we need to go down quick. So I measured how the peak here and then how far over it needs to be from the edge here to that surface, and then the angle and all that. And then I measured the diameter of this bolt. That's right here. I think it's 22 millimeters. I do everything in metric because the printer just automatically is metric, and I'm used to it at this point. It's just easier. Metric's honestly just better. So you can put the hate comments down below for that one. So now that we have our measurements, we're gonna go in and model it real quick and then print it out. All right, so we have our drawing here. So all we have to do is start drawing it. And it matters how we model this here, because we can do it in fewer steps as possible is ideal. So we're going to start a sketch, and we're going to do it on this plane here. Then we are going to just draw the profile of this. So we want it centered, so we'll come out like this, up, like that, probably about like this, over here, back down to match this, and then connect it. So that's our profile. Now I just have to add some dimensions. I want this point midway. So we do a midway constraint, this line on there. So now that the origin is directly halfway between that line, so it'll keep it centered. So that'll make it easier later when we're adding a hole in the middle. Then we can go to our dimensions. This needs to be, actually I didn't take that measurement, so we're not going to do that one. This one needs to be 23. So I was a little off when I was doing this. So what we can do is actually just drag this if we want, kind of closer to what it needs to be. So that's going to be a little closer. So then we got that one. This needs to be about 18. Oops, I already had the other point selected. This needs to be 18. This is 4. Make this look a little better. Yeah, so that's about all we need. Oh, there's the width, 30. So this needs to be 30. Okay. So that's all we need for this part of the model. So we'll say finish sketch, and then we'll extrude this. You can see 3-dimensional, and this we want to do a symmetric one, so our origin stays in the center, and the width is 35. So we'll do 35 divided by 2. Since it's symmetrical, we have to compensate for each side. Enter. So there is our block. Now we need to put the hole in the center. So how we're going to do that is we're going to do another sketch on this plane. We've got to turn bodies off. On this plane, turn body back on, and then we will draw a line through the center. Doesn't really matter how high, honestly. And then we'll go over here. This diameter is 22, so we want this to be, well, we can adjust that. And go here, here, and then back down to here, and then close that off. Then we'll add our dimensions. So this diameter, or I guess it's a radius, so it'd be 11. Or if you want to make it how you have it on your drawing, so I have a diameter of 22, so we can do 22 divided by 2. It's kind of easier if you don't want to do the math in your head. The diameter for this one is 10. So we can just do either 10 divided by 2 or just put 5. Really doesn't matter what one you do. And then the height on this, height from here down to the origin is 4. And that height doesn't matter, it just needs to be higher than the top. So really that should be all we need for this hole. So we can do finish sketch, and then we will do I would call it a revolve, or they do call it a revolve in here, okay? So we have the body selected, now we need the axis that it's gonna rotate around, which will just be this axis here, like that. You can see what it's gonna do. It's already set to cut it from this. So you press OK, and there we go. Cut it out. So that's literally all we need to do. Now we can send this to the printer. So we can go to the file, export, and we need to export as an STL file. So we'll say export. Bamboo Studios software here. So we have a new file, and we can just pull in our file into here, set it there. You can see it puts it in there. This is what we're going to print, and then we shouldn't need any support or anything like that. We might want to look at strength. 15% infill is fine. Let's slice this. It's going to take 32 minutes. You can see where it's actually putting all of the layers and where it's going, all the infill in there, and that will probably work fine. So what we need to do now is get the printer set up, which it's already set up, and I'm probably just going to print this out of, use like PETG plastic in this one just to make sure it fits correctly. I do have some TPU that I think is like 95 TPU, it's made for like rubber bushings. You can make like sway bar bushings, and you can make a lot of stuff out of it. But that's probably what we'll end up making it out of, but that's expensive. So we're gonna just do it out of PETG to make sure it fits properly. And if it works, then we might just leave it like that. I don't know. And we'll probably need 2 of these because we'll want one on each side as well. But I'm just gonna print one to make sure it works, and then we'll go from there. PETG. And then we gotta reslice it. 39 minutes. Print plate. All right, now it's printing with that. So I have time lapse turned on so you guys can see it print, and we'll press send. And you can see it comes over here, loads up on the screen, and it starts getting the nozzle temperature up. It opened up the flap up here to, or I think it will. It should open up the flap up there because it doesn't need to be very hot. So it'll vent out some of the heat. And it automatically goes through an auto calibration and everything too, because auto bed levels and stuff. But anyway, and then this over here is the AMS. So all of I can have 4 filaments in here, and it automatically will put those into the printer. So it's going to go through the setup, and yeah, I'll show you the time lapse of that right here. It is now done. Used 7 grams, 40 minutes. Okay, open this up. It's probably still a little warm, so might not come off the easiest quite yet. Usually after it cools down, it comes off easier, but you just pull this out. It's a little warm. Set it here. There we go. Exactly what we modeled. So now we can go take this to the car and see if it fits. All right. Looks pretty good. Let's take that bolt out. Who knows what size that is, and see if this fits. Actually, it might be the same size as the hood. It is. Perfect. This is probably a little rusty. Oh yeah, that might not actually come out. Hopefully it doesn't break. Is there a nut on the back side of that actually? There might be. I'll try to show you guys what I'm doing here. Try to show you what I'm doing. So, go under here. It's pretty rusty under here, but yeah, it's kind of hard to see. It's right up in there. So that's actually supposed to be covered, but it's not. So we have access to it. Luckily, I guess. But we gotta try to get that out of there. That seems to be coming out. Cleaning off the threads on the back side and spraying it with some stuff made it come out easier. It seems like it's coming out. Look at that. We got it, and the threads aren't messed up either. That's actually pretty incredible. It has a spacer on it too, which we're not going to be able to, I guess this will take up the spacer, so that actually works out perfect. So we got that bolt out, and now this can just sit right there. It's a little dirty from my fingers. So yeah, we can set that right in there, and then this bolt will just go right back in there. Actually fits perfect. I don't want to tighten it all the way down. Leave it a little loose, and we'll see if it actually closes. So, goes down and rests on it. It's pretty good. It's actually a little low. It could be a little taller than that. I also adjusted this, but it really looks like I adjusted it way too far forward because there's like a ½ inch of gap in here now. And I don't think this lines up. Oh, it does line up more. Yeah, this still lines up, but yeah, we need to move this back more. The other side might need to move forward some. But yeah, there's way too much of a gap here. Why don't we adjust that? And then yeah, this definitely needs to be higher. It's way better though. All right, we got 2 more printed. Let's see if this fits better. It's tight right at the end there, but all right, let's close this and see if that's any better. Other than being able to see that, I'd say it's pretty much perfect once it's all the way closed. We still need to move it back more, and that one definitely needs one as well. But they're at like the same distance. Let's put the other one in, the other stopper, and see how that looks. Funnily enough, this one just came right out. It wasn't hardly even rusted at all, so that's kind of nice. It also had a washer that I just took out. Okay. Let's see how it closes now. Yeah, that holds it perfect. Now we just need to scooch it back that way. They're both basically the same spot. So if we move them both back like, I don't know, like a ½ inch, it should be perfect. It's got an even gap all the way across now. It's sitting pretty much flush. Let's latch it down. Oh, yeah, now it doesn't latch. Oh, and the front overhangs on the fender. This gap's a lot larger now, which is probably why I had this one out farther now that I think about it. This car is just not very straight. As you can see, it's been in a wreck in the front before. I'm pretty sure it's not, well, that's kind of straight. Well, not really. You can tell this has all been kind of mangled up in the front before. Well, the cowl looks straight. I guess this fender could be pushed out. I mean, it sits high right here, which probably just needs to be like bent down some. I'm sure these never had great body lines anyway from the factory, because yeah, it's just old car stuff. So I'm gonna mess with tweaking. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to tweak the fenders that much, mostly because the bolts are probably all rusted and I don't want to start breaking off all the bolts to them. So I'm gonna just adjust this a little bit and I'll get back to you to see what I have figured out. So I tried moving this fender out. It's not budging. So I just pulled this side of the hood back forward some so it clears enough. This is actually how it's always been ever since I got the car. And this is not as good. It's further out here than it is over there, but at the same time, we did fix it. So now it sits level, and when you open it, it doesn't want to like kink and try to go into the cowl at all. Believe it or not, we did make it better. This car has a lot of issues in the body area. The biggest problem, which you guys have probably been able to tell, is that the cowl here, the vent there is covered up, and I 3D printed this. It's actually shaped to the curvature and everything, and I plugged all of the vents with this. I tried to make it look kind of like a scoop kind of thing. I thought it was kind of neat. It doesn't look the best, but it matches the rest of the car. The inside of this cowl, or the vent here, all inside is where mice made their nest, and it's all rusted out in there. So there's no way to plug it, so air just goes right in the car, and more importantly, water, if it rained on the car, would just go right inside and actually go onto the computer for the engine that I have right down here. So you can tell that that wouldn't be good, because that would kind of ruin everything. And then the floorboards would just fill up with water. So that's the biggest reason why I did that, because I don't want to get stuck at a car show or really anywhere if it's raining just because of this. So I've completely sealed that up now, so that really shouldn't be a problem. I want to 3D print a new gauge cluster as well, because the gauge cluster that's in here, I kind of just fabricated one out of sheet metal. I probably have a video on that way back when, but it's really loose in here because you can see all of this is rusted out. Like, there's a ton of rust in the dash of this car. And yeah. I really kind of wish I would have done this project on a better car, but this is the one that was given to me, and this is the one that has history with my wife's family, and I thought it would be cool to do this one, which it is, don't get me wrong, but the rust is just, it's kind of, I don't want to say impossible to fix, but it's really difficult to fix. You would have to remove all the glass and cut out the dash and re-weld all of that drain pan back in there, and probably put a new dashboard in it, because it's in rough shape. So this looks a lot better, and it's a little band-aid that'll probably last forever. So it's fine. Other videos I want to do, I'm going to put a sway bar at least on the front of this. It's never had any sway bars on it, and that is an issue for the handling. It handles like a boat. Like, it's never been good. So I really want to make a sway bar for it, and that'll probably be one of the upcoming videos. So thank you for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.